Hi, I'm Christine Johnston. I'm the programs director here at Ruffner Mountain, and I just did a pond survey for our pond right here outside the Nature Center. Did some bioassessment collecting, so let's see what we found. So here are some things we found outside in the small frog pond outside the Nature Center. We have some snails scooting along over here. We've got some other little macroinvertebrates around here. We also have some plants, some duckweed and algae. So let's take a closer look. Wow, so these organisms are super awesome. Very unique macroinvertebrates, and according to our dichotomous key, they are the dragonfly larva or dragonfly nymph. So this is actually a stage in the dragonfly life cycle. Dragonflies undergo an incomplete metamorphosis, unlike butterflies, which would undergo a complete metamorphosis. So their life cycle is considered incomplete. And here's an example. We've got their eggs. You can see a couple eggs in there. The next stage of their life cycle is the nymph stage. That's pretty much similar to the one we have here. And then the nymph stage, they can actually get pretty large. And they can spend up to a couple years, even 5 years in the nymph stage and live underwater that whole time with gills. And then they would kind of crawl out of the water, and maybe go out on a rock or a plant and shed their exoskeleton and kind of unroll their wings and let them dry out and be adult dragonflies. So that is the life cycle of a dragonfly. They have really neat adaptations, including a giant jaw that can kind of expand and stretch out. So they're fierce predators and can eat things as large as small minnows. So they're predators all the way from their nymph stage to their adult stage. They also kind of pull in water through their gills and push the water back out from their rear, and that's how they swim. You can see one swimming in here pretty fast. So they're great swimmers as well. So that is our dragonfly nymph. Pretty cool. Here is a macroinvertebrate, and according to the dichotomous key, we have a back swimmer. Back swimmers are often confused with water boatmen. They're similar size, but they swim on their backs, so they're pretty easy to identify. You also might see a little bubble around their bodies. They use their long legs to propel them through the water on their backs. They are actually predators, so they too can feed on tadpoles and small minnows. They've got a pretty sharp, piercing bite, and that can actually bite us humans as well, so I wouldn't recommend handling them or picking them up or anything. So that is our back swimmer. I'll put him back here in our collection. There we go. So you can see him right there. There's our next organism we'll be identifying. I'm going to go ahead and gently pick it up. It is a snail. So Alabama's rivers and streams have many types of snails. In fact, Alabama is #1 in the amount of freshwater snail species out of the whole United States. So this one's probably going to be either a pouch or a gilled snail, depending on where the opening is when you hold the spiral upright. So I'm going to go ahead and hold it like this. And it looks like it is in fact a pouch snail. So Pouch snails are pretty tolerant of water quality, whereas gilled snails are going to be a little sensitive to pollution. So we've got a pouch snail. There's another one right there. And our dragonfly nymph. So this is a pretty neat macroinvertebrate. Kind of looks similar to the dragonfly nymph. A lot of people get them confused, but using our dichotomous key, it is actually going to be a damselfly nymph or larva. And the difference, a lot of people don't realize, is that when dragonflies are resting, they typically have their wings outright, whereas damselflies will kind of have their wings back together. But they're very similar to dragonflies and go through a similar metamorphosis of the incomplete metamorphosis. So that, I believe, is a damselfly nymph. We'll go ahead and let them return. There we go. You can see him swimming around. Swims a lot different than the dragonfly nymph as well. And that is all of our critters that we have today. So here's our green tree frog, and he is on exhibit here at the Nature Center. You can see he's got really awesome grips on his hands and feet, great climbers, and they're really good predators for insects. And it is frog season here in Alabama. We've got a lot of species at the wetlands. Unfortunately, our Frog Watch USA class was canceled, but I would like to leave you with a field recording of our spring peepers at the wetlands. Enjoy!